Omid Scobie, who co-wrote a biography of the Sussexes, has sent a huge warning to the couple following a backlash towards their recent claims against the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's own biographer Omid Scobie has warned the public are already suffering with Sussex fatigue and are in danger of losing their most loyal supporters. The couple's increasingly fractured relationship with the royal family has been brought under the spotlight further following their six-part documentary series on Netflix and the release of Harry's memoir, Spare. These have seen them launch a series of stunning accusations against the royals, which has triggered a furious backlash from some of their biggest critics. But Mr. Scobie, who co-authored Finding Freedom, has now issued a huge warning to Harry and Meghan. He was speaking on the recent Royally Obsessed podcast episode, and was asked by hosts Rachel Bowie and Roberta Fiorito whether he thought people were experiencing fatigue from the couple. Mr. Scobie replied, "In many ways, how can a regular person not have Sussex fatigue at this point? I almost feel it's like my duty to follow it every step of the way, but I can understand how general members of the public have just had enough of hearing about the royal dramas in general. I sympathize with the Sussexes in some ways, because they're only now getting to join the story at this very late stage. For many years, they weren't able to share their side. They watched others try and tell versions of it, or they sat back and watched things reported about them that they didn't agree with or didn't feel were a fair representation of themselves. So now they've come in with their versions of events, with their stories, and are filling in the gaps that we didn't know about. But of course, it comes after years and years of coverage. So I think people are starting to get a little tired of this story in general." In a second podcast with Common Sense, the couple's biographer insisted Harry and Meghan's arguably intense approach serves them because they want to move on. Speaking in the episode, titled Omid Scobie, The Truth About Prince Harry and Meghan, Mr. Scobie said, "It's why their popularity polls go down and down, because ultimately they are making people feel uncomfortable with the things that they are talking about. Sure, there are also people that think enough is enough. We're tired of hearing about you. We've got Meghan and Harry fatigue. Stop whining." There are also really valid conversations that just make people feel freaked out. But he warned, "I do think that they're in a slightly risky spot where they need to be aware of the fact that this has to be the line drawn. Otherwise, I think people, even the most staunch supporters, will start to feel the frustration of not seeing the couple move forward or find that happiness they talk about. So I think that now is the time where they have to move forward as well. Otherwise, they'll become synonymous with drama for the rest of their lives, just like what the royal family struggles with. And I don't think that that's a place that anyone particularly wants to be." In his book, Spare, Harry launched a series of claims against the royal family, with older brother Prince William, his wife Kate, Princess of Wales and mother-in-law Camilla, Queen Consort, in the firing line. But following the release of the book earlier this month, a poll showed the Duke of Sussex's popularity among the British public has plunged. Delta poll quizzed 1,059 UK adults from January 12, 16, with 42% saying Harry has done more damage to the royal family, compared to 41% for his uncle, Prince Andrew. Most telling with the older age groups, the figures were 56% to 32% for over 65s and 57% to 27% for those aged 55-64. But in more positive news for Harry, half of the participants aged 35-54 believe Andrew has caused more damage to the royal family, compared to just 35% for his nephew Harry. The result was similar in the 18-24-year-old age category. 38% voting for Andrew versus to just over a fifth, 22%, for Harry. Earlier this month, a YouGov survey of 1,693 adults in the UK before the release of Harry's book showed 64% had a negative view of him compared to 58% last May. Just over a quarter, 26%, saw him in a positive light. Harry's net favourability among the British public has also plummeted to an all-time low of 38, with his wife Meghan Markle recording an even lower score of 42.